Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We just harvested our green beans and we've got a huge amount, so we're going to can them. These green beans are from Park Seed. They're award-winning. They're called Kentucky Blue Smooth, and they were delicious when we harvested them in spring.
I just wanted to feel them.
We want to do this again. We're really excited about this. So let's get started.
Rhonda's over there getting the green beans prepped up. I'm going to go ahead and get these jars sterilized. I'm going to go ahead and put them in here. Go ahead and get them quickly sterilized, and then Rhonda will go ahead and load them with the green beans, and then she'll put her mixture in here, and then we'll put them in the pressure canner. That's where we're going to put the green beans. What's the mixture going to be for the green beans?
It's going to be hot boiling water, a half a teaspoon of canning salt, and green beans, and that's it.
All right, water's almost boiled. We got our brand new convection stove here. This is the first time we're using it for canning. We got this a few months back, and it's been amazing. And we were actually going to do a gas range or stove, whatever you want to call it. And then when we started doing some research and started talking to a few people about it, they recommended that we do the convection. Induction, sorry, not convection. Induction. And I will say it really is easy to use. The way that you can manage your heat control is amazing. Even though it's electric, it controls like gas. And someone actually told us that it's even easier or more controllable than gas is. So pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop these in here, muck off of them. All right, we've been boiling for like 10 minutes. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. Can't wait to eat those glass jars. Use my handy dandy crab getter. Set these hot jars right here. All right, I'll put these last 3 in there. Sanitize the outside. That's not where the beans are going. All right, let's give a quick sterilization on these lids and these gaskets. You don't want to do them too long. You don't want to melt the rubber. So what we'll do is we'll just take that off the heat.
All right, now that the jars are sanitized, we're going to start adding the green beans to the jars. I'm going to make these with a half teaspoon of salt. I like the little bit of flavor. And I washed these green beans in just water and baking soda and then gave them a good rinse afterwards. I'm going to trim off the ends and cut them into little pieces like this. So half a teaspoon of salt to each jar. Then I take a green bean, cut off the ends. This will be chicken food. I cut it into about pieces that are this. And then these will go directly into the jars. Just kind of shake them in. So that'll look about like that. So I'm going to fill the rest of these up, get these processed, and we'll go from there. Okay, got the jars filled with the green beans and half a teaspoon of canning or pickling salt. Next, I'm going to use the boiling water from this pot. I'm going to fill each of these jars till about a half an inch from the top. I'm using a funnel here, and then I will use the bubbler to get any air bubbles out of the jar. All of this equipment has been sanitized. It's very important to do that. I will be wiping the rims of these jars with some vinegar. It's another sanitation procedure, and it also helps to ensure that the lids seal properly. So let's go ahead and get this done. are super hot because they've got boiling water in them. But just use the end of your bubbler tool. This is what a bubbler tool looks like. And you're going to go around the jar to make sure that there are no bubbles coming up. You're trying to get all of the bubbles out of these jars. Okay, now it's time to fit the lids on. Just set the lids directly on the rims, and then we will put the rings on the jars to hold the rims in place. You don't need to make them too tight. We finally made it to the actual canning process, and I'm going to set the jars in the canner. And let me just show you really quick. There is a tray with holes in it. You can see that I'm setting the cans directly on. So we got 8 jars out of this batch, and they all fit into my pressure canner, which is great. This is the first time I've used it. There's a line. I don't know if you can see. It's about halfway up. You really don't want the water to go higher than that. We're going to close her up and get started. So the lid's locked in place. This is where the steam will start to come out. We're gonna wait about 10 or 15 minutes. We should start seeing like a nice stream of steam coming out of that piece. And this is set to boil or a high temperature on the stove. Once we see the steam come out, I will place this weight over the steam vent, and then we will process for 10 minutes. Okay, we have a nice steam coming out of this vent right here. It's been venting for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to put the weighted regulator on top. In about a minute, I'm going to reduce the heat on the stove, and we're going to let this process for about 20 minutes. So the gauge has been rocking back and forth for about 20 minutes. I'm going to turn this off. You want to keep that gauge rocking consistently during the processing. What I had to do was reduce the heat on the stove. It was, about half of what I started at. And now I'm just going to let this sit here for about 30 minutes so that the pot can cool down. You don't want to open it. You don't want to take the gauge off. You don't want to touch it. Just turn the heat off and let it rest, and we'll be right back.
It's all done. Remove the whatever this thing is, and then we're gonna slide this open. The rest of the pressure in here, which should all be gone because it's been sitting for a good 20 minutes. We'll take the lid off, and we're just gonna let the beans sit in here for another 5 minutes in here. Then we'll pull them out and we'll let them sit and do their thing. All right, I'm gonna take this handy dandy tool and I'm gonna start getting these out of here. We're going to set these off to the side, and we're going to let them cool. And as they cool, they will start to seal. You'll be able to hear them. You'll hear the pop. We've done these. Oh, did you hear that? That was a good one. We did them last. There was another one. So they're sealing up nice. That's what you want. What do we have? We have 8 jars?
Yeah, there's 8.
Yep, there's another popper. So 8 jars. We still got some green beans growing out there, so hopefully we'll get a few more jars this year. We'll let them cool down, stick them in the pantry, and eat them up.
Okay, that's it. I'm gonna label the green beans with a date of when we process them. And that's a safety measure because you don't wanna eat them. I think with personal canning, you have a year shelf life. So you just wanna make sure you're staying safe with preserving items in your pantry. I do wanna mention this book right here. This is a great tool if you are interested in canning and getting serious about it. I use this book every time I can, and I'll leave the link to this down below.
Hold it right there. I did not say enough about this book when we were filming. This was written by Diane Devereaux. This is the complete guide to pressure canning, and it truly is a complete guide. The author covers so many pressure canning topics, from what altitude you are canning in to what foods you can pressure can. She covers the different types of canners you can buy, along with the tools you need to be successful at canning. Here's canning green bean details that we went over today. There are some great recipes in this book, and this is just an overall awesome guide you should check out if you are serious about canning.
And it's a great find. So that's it, everybody. I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. Thanks for joining, and
Come grow with us.
bye now.